Hello everyone, I'm Poonam Vohra and welcome each one of you to the Question of the Day series. Today's focus is on a case study in macroeconomics carrying 6 marks. This case study is about the capital expenditure in the government budget 2025-26. So read the case study thoroughly. Apply your knowledge, analytical skills, and critical thinking skills to answer the questions given at the end of the case study. So let us face the challenge. Let me read the case study for you. In the Union Budget 2024-25, the government allocated 3.4% of GDP for capital expenditure amounting to 11.11 lakh crores of rupees. This represented an 11.1% increase compared to the previous year, demonstrating a strong push towards infrastructure development, railways, roads, and urban expansion. The strategy aimed to boost economic growth, generate employment, and attract private investments. However, in the Union Budget 2025-26, capital expenditures saw only a 0.9% increase, reaching 11.21 lakh crores of rupees, which now accounts for 3.1% of GDP. The slower rise indicates a shift in budgetary priorities with more emphasis on fiscal consolidation, tax relief, and social sector spending rather than large-scale infrastructure expansion. This change raises concerns about the pace of economic growth and private sector investment in long-term projects. The case study is continued. A major portion of the capital expenditure in 2025 has been allocated to the defense sector, accounting for 61% of the total. However, 69% of the defense budget is set aside for manpower costs, leaving only 26% for modernization and procurement of new weapons. Additionally, strategic petroleum reserves are allocated 0.5% of the total budget to enhance energy security. While the 2025 budget continues supporting infrastructure, its slower growth rate in capital expenditure could affect India's long-term development, job creation, and industrial expansion, making economic stability a key concern moving forward. Here are the links that show the sources from where this information about capital expenditure in government budget 2025-26 has been taken. You need to answer the 3 questions. Question 1. What are the potential implications of the modest increase in capital expenditure on India's long-term economic growth? 2 marks are allotted. Question 2. How might allocating a significant portion of the defense budget to manpower costs impact India's defense modernization efforts? 2 marks are allotted. And 3. How can strategic petroleum reserves impact India's energy security and economic stability? 2 marks are allotted for this question too. Now let us have a look at the solution. Question 1. What are the potential implications of modest increase in capital expenditure on India's long-term economic growth? Now, if there is an increase in capital expenditure, it may limit investment in critical infrastructure projects, potentially slowing down long-term economic growth. Insufficient funding for modernization efforts, especially in sectors like defense, could affect India's competitiveness and preparedness. So balancing immediate economic relief with substantial capital investment is crucial for sustainable development. Question 2. How might the allocation of a significant portion of the defense budget to manpower costs impact India's defense modernization efforts? The answer is quite obvious. If larger share of defense budget is allocated to manpower cost, it will leave limited funds for modernization and procurement of new weapons. And this could hinder the military's ability to update its equipment and technology, potentially affecting national security and its capability to respond to emerging threats. Efficient utilization of the defense budget hence is essential to ensure a balanced approach between personnel welfare and modernization needs. Question 3. How can strategic petroleum reserves impact India's energy security and economic stability? Strategic petroleum reserves provide a buffer against global oil supply disruptions, ensuring that India has a steady oil supply during crisis. This reduces dependence on volatile international markets, hence stabilizing domestic fuel prices. A well-maintained strategic petroleum reserves also strengthens energy security. It prevents economic shocks caused by the sudden price spikes. Additionally, expanding strategic petroleum reserves infrastructure in states like Karnataka and Odisha promotes regional economic growth, creates jobs, and boosts industrial activity. I hope it is clear how to answer such questions, as these questions are based on your general awareness. It is quite clear that if there is just a modest increase in capital expenditure, it is going to affect the economic development of the country. It is going to affect the employment opportunities in the country, the output growth in the country. And if it is defense expenditure, obviously more expenditure on manpower is going to affect the modernization of defense sector, hence compromising on nation's security. Also, strategic petroleum reserves are very relevant as it leads to a stable domestic oil prices and enables the country to fight with the volatility of international oil supply. So these are some of the questions which require your general understanding and general awareness. So practice answering such questions and be curious. Join me tomorrow for the next such question in the series. Till then, stay motivated and keep learning. See you in the next session. Thank you.